Hey guys, this is going to Sky here with another Guarding Tales video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about option change stones and option lock stones. So before I get into this video, if we can get a like on this video, that'd be awesome. Also subscribe to the channel for more Guarding Tales content. So with that out of the way, let's break this down, and how I'm going to start this is I'm going to talk about what they're used for, how to get them, and then how to use them optimally, or at least the way I go about using these stones. So the first thing is what they do. I think that's a good way to start. So the whole point of an option change stone is to be able to change the rolls of a piece of gear, and it's going to be a random roll, and then you see the maximum potential of one of these items, and you could get either something in between, you could get nothing. You know, it's just a complete RNG fest and what you're actually going to get when it comes to these pieces of gear. So that's what they do. Whereas with option lock stones, what they do is they allow you to lock particular pieces or rolls on a weapon or accessory that you want to keep. For example, I mean, I can lock this and it costs 10 of them to make sure that this is locked. So when I go to actually roll that with the option change stone, that one will not change, but all the other ones will. And it's incredibly expensive for these weapons. Whereas as you'll see with accessories, it's significantly cheaper. So if you go here and I go to option change this and lock it, so I already have them locked, but it only costs 3. So here, let me go to one that's not locked. So right here, locking even more of this, if I wanted to lock this, it only costs 3. So if I want to do let's do a fresh one. Yeah, let's just take this. So then if I go here, I go to lock it, the first one on an accessory only takes 1, then 2 of them takes 3, 3 of them take 6, and then all 4 of them take 10, which would be kind of pointless to be able to lock all of these unless you're really going for that last slot there. And you can only lock 1 in the sub option, but you can lock all the main options. And I think that's a really important thing. So ideally, you're going to get pieces of gear that have tons of main options, but only very few sub options. Because if you can get multiple sub options, it's actually really tough. It's significantly tougher, I should say, to be able to get all the substats you want, because you won't be able to lock them. Like once you get one that's fully maxed, you won't be able to lock that one and then get another one fully maxed and lock that one as well. Whereas you can do that on the main option. And I think that's a really big distinction that's going to, ever since that they made these lock option stones available in the game, that distinction actually matters. Whereas it used to be with option change stones, it was just a big RNG crapshoot, and they're incredibly expensive as it is. So it was a really big feels bad trying to actually get the rolls you wanted, and it essentially took either an absolute ton of trying to roll or just getting really lucky. So now that we kind of get an idea of what they're used for, let's talk about how to get them. And the first one I want to talk about is the option change stone. And there's a lot of ways to get them, but I really feel like most of them are overpriced, whereas I'm going to talk about my favorite way to get them here soon. So the first thing is going to be, now let's actually go through the things. Yes, you could buy them in packs here. And then here, let's actually, so you can buy one here in the purple coin shop here. For this is, you know, kind of a no-brainer. All this currency, you're definitely going to want to use this. For most people in this situation, if you have stamina or coffee grinders, I'd prioritize that. But it takes a ton of this currency to get one option change stone. That's one roll. I just think even in this situation where it's still a no-brainer, I would prioritize like all this stamina right here way over getting this option change stone. I just think even in this case scenario where eventually, I mean, like, where else is this currency going to go? I would buy the stamina first over that option change stone. Here's my favorite place to get them is going to be with this currency here. That when it comes to the mileage for getting weapons, when you get weapons, you get this magic metal, and then the magic metal is used. I think the absolute best thing to use for the magic metal is to save 300 of it to buy this once a month for the random epic exclusive equipment box. But then the other thing that I think is really good for it is to buy out these option change stones. So I've gotten a couple of them already. I've gotten more so far, so I'm definitely going to probably pull and like buy these. Like I just like to buy them out just to have them, and you just get them every month. So here, Spirit, I'll just end up getting them. Yeah, maybe this is a little extreme for most people, but in my situation, I don't really care too much about getting dupes of these other ones. I think this 900 is way too expensive, so I like to just get these guys, and then the random epic exclusive weapon for 300. And then I used to always buy these out too, but I've kind of slowed down on those because I have most of them ready to go. Is where you can buy the option lock stone. This is really the only place you could buy them, so there's really no discussion here. I think it's worth it. I think you know, arguably, like I ended up buying these out, and then I've also bought the Minotaur necklace. I think that those are good, but eventually, like if you want these, this is the only way to get them, except spending real money. I haven't seen any other way to get these guys, so you kind of got to get them here. And then there's these really expensive, you know, costumes that I think people save for. I think they're cool, but they're major, pretty much just a flex. If you're looking for just efficiency, I would say probably go Minotaur's necklace and then the option lock stones. And then I ended up buying these 4 here because the collection bonus is the 0.5% attack. So that's why I got those guys. So it's just kind of up to you, but I think these are worth it. And then you can buy them here. I think this is probably one of the worst places to buy an option change stone. 1500 for at the mirror shop for this is just dumb in my opinion, because most of the time the thing you're going to be mainly using option change stones for is going to be good accessories. And then the good accessories that take a lot of rolls to actually get good are going to be these here out of the mirror shop anyway. And for the price of 2 option change stones, you can just buy one of these pieces and get another roll out of it. So, and you're going to need a ton of them for limit breaking anyway. And like, so it's just, I can't find any justification for ever wanting to buy this option change stone ever. It's just a really bad deal in my opinion. I think if you're ever going to buy something, absolutely buy these 2 here, buy out all the hammers, buy out all the gold. I think those are totally worth it. And then if you're going to buy something in here, I think the Captain Mirror Shield, if you need a shield character, is absolutely the way to go. Or just maybe pick up something you're actually doing already. The Minotaur's necklace is another thing that doesn't drop already, so that's worth buying. All these are worth buying except this damn option change stone. I totally think it's not worth getting. And then the last place that you could get it to is going to be randomly in this shop here for 300. Oh, perfect. It's actually here. So 300 gems. Absolutely don't think that's worth getting. I think the best places are going to be the magic metals, and that's about it when it comes to option change stones. Also, this is random and it's kind of hard to talk about for a video like this, but these event missions, whether it be the event missions here or whatever event's going on, a lot of times you're going to get these, and this would be an example of where you could stack up some more option change stones besides just the magic metals of what the normal way of getting them is. And that's pretty much it when it comes to acquiring option change stones. When it comes to the option limit stones, right here in the battle metals or option lock stones, this is the only way to really get them. Also in events too, that's going to be a way to go for them as well. But I think this is probably worth it. You're really trying to stack these up, buy these weekly. I haven't really bought them because I'm just saving them up because this currency is so slow to acquire. I think there's probably other priorities in my opinion, but at the same time, if you're really trying to lock in a good accessory, you might want to actually pick them up here and also from events. So now we get them. Now I want to talk about the things I prioritize when it comes to these stones. And the main thing that I like to do when it comes to my teams is going to be finding an epic accessory, whether it be this, like all the mirror rift stuff, whether it be a Minotaur's necklace. For example, I have it over here, like a good roll here, and making sure you get these epic pieces of gear rolled well for whatever you're trying to go for, because this gear is really hard to get to roll well, because look at all the options here to actually get this. So having the option lock stones is going to be really important for this, and then obviously you're going to need the actual change stones to roll them. But this is the only way to ever actually get a good roll on these. And I like these epic accessories for your main character, because these are going to be the ones that are going to give you the skill damage, give you or flat attack, and give you the weapon skill regen speed. So skill damage, weapon skill regen speed, and the basic attack. So it's like these are going to be absolutely essential for your main characters. And since they have so many rolls on them, you're going to need to really prioritize these. And then I like to prioritize these over weapons, because weapons are just so much more expensive that it's just not realistic. Now that we know how much it costs to actually acquire these guys, then you look at the main weapons and you're like, wow, I'm spending 60 times 5 per week of a really expensive currency to just get 5. And then I go to a weapon here, and then if I want to lock it, like let's say I go to actually lock this thing right here, boom, that's 10. And then I want to lock 2 of them, that's 30. But that's so much resources just to lock that. Whereas I could get so many of my accessories taken care of with the same amount of option change stones that I would, just one piece of gear. Like one weapon is going to cover like 8 accessories, at the minimum. So that's why I really think prioritizing the accessories is the way to go when it comes to actually using these things. because even when you have the lockstones, it's still going to take a lot of rolls, because especially for the Mirror Rift pieces of gear, because their pieces of gear here, like let's actually go back to this one right here, this one I got incredibly lucky on, even with the being able to lock it. So I ended up locking that, but I just had to I randomly rolled this good roll here, quote unquote good roll, because it's still not perfect, but relatively high on the defense, relatively high on the light attack here, and then we got 15% skill damage. So it's not perfect, but since I could only pick one of these things to lock, you know, I ended up choosing the defense because I didn't have any of these. And then I just rolled it, and then boom, it hit skill damage and weapon regen speed. But if I rolled this again, I could just lose all these and just get nothing and just be stuck with 8% defense. I could just, you know, I could get a whole bunch of bad stats, like for example, damage reduction or 0%, you know, HP recovery. Yeah, you know, like this HP recovery on enemy kill, I could get that. I could get the heal, which wouldn't be bad, but you know, like because this roll's not perfect, but even this roll, not perfect, I'm willing to keep because of just how hard this is to get, even with the lockstone. So not only are you going to want to look for accessories that are, you know, good and have a lot of potential, but you're going to want ones that ideally have a lot of main options versus sub options. So that's how I go about looking at these weapons here. To be honest, I've literally never used a lockstone on a weapon because I just think it's ridiculous. If my weapon rolled horribly, all I'm going to do is just hit it with a option change stone. If I'm even going to bother, I'm going to hit it with an option change stone, because I'm not going to spend all these lock stones on an exclusive piece weapon, because it's just not worth it in my opinion. Like I could lock this and then hope for better skill regen speed, but then I still potentially lose it on the defense. Like I'm not going to spend 60 of these guys when I could, you know, spend 6 of them and do the same thing on an accessory. So that's how I look at this stuff. I think this is really weirdly expensive currency for what it's trying to do. I think they kind of miss the mark on the cost of lockstones when it comes to weapons. I feel like even halving it still feels really bad, versus like just how much of a fraction it is on accessories. It's just kind of weird to me. But that's based on what we got to work with now, without optimizing it or changing it all. That's how I look at this. I think these are really focused for just making sure your epic accessories are really good, and also your shields too. If you have good shields here, let's go to Future Princess here. And I think this is a really important distinction, because this is actually a good shield. Here, let's go to lock it. So if I lock this one, look, it's 5. Shields are in the same boat as accessories. So if you have a lot, you know, Future Princess is a very popular character. Like I would never have been able to get this good of a roll. Like look how crazy this roll is, because not only does it have a ton of main option stats that I was able to keep locking and roll, but you only need to roll 1 sub option. So that's why I really like this guy. This is the best thing to buy out of the mirror shop. That's why I just went all in on it and also rolled for it. So I think shields are a really important thing to discuss as well, because Future Princess is a super popular character. Aghanim is a super popular character. So and the weapon or the shield you actually have to work with that I think is best in slot is actually really reasonable in getting it fully maxed out with this new feature. So hopefully this was helpful, guys. If you have any more questions on option lockstones or just option change stones in general, let me know in the comments below. And with that, guys, I am out. Peace.